So this is my sort of thinking about where Bitcoin could go. I just wanted to do a quick recording. I could be completely wrong about the whole thing, but I wanted to share with you nonetheless. So I wanted to come in and share with you a little bit about some crazy old analysis of Bitcoin. So I'm going to change my screen here in a moment, and we're going to go to my whiteboard. And right here, you can actually see that I have a lovely, handy dandy, super awesome chart of Bitcoin. And this is taken from the Into the Cryptoverse.com channel from the YouTube. He does some really cool analysis about, Bitcoin. And I think it's very, very cool and very powerful. So if you're interested in it, he doesn't pay me or anything like that. We don't really have any working relationship whatsoever, but I just really like his analysis and charts. And it's sort of he was doing his own discussion about where Bitcoin could potentially go. And of course, nobody knows exactly where things are going to go. But I wanted to give my sort of take on where we are, and wanted to, he's done some regression analysis, and I want to do a little bit of my own analysis of where I think things could go. But I do highly recommend you go and check out Into the Cryptoverse. Really, really cool channel. Nothing crazy of like pump and dump and that kind of stuff. It's really about his own analysis of things. So anyways, I wanted to kind of point out and do some analysis of where we are. So I want to take a look at a couple of things that he pointed out, but then it really got me going on my own direction of where things could go. And the first thing I want to take a look at is right over here, the price of Bitcoin at the bottom at one of the previous bottoms. And I want to go and take a look at the bottoms all the way throughout, right? So I'm circling them here on the screen. Hopefully you can see that. And the interesting piece is that these bottoms are much higher than the tops that exist within the space. So I'm going to circle the tops that we have as well. And the part that I started to kind of play around with is what is the differential in the price when we look at, when we look at sort of, this bottom right here from this top over here. And what I have come up with, that's about 5x, a little bit more than 5x. And then I did the same thing of sort of looking at this bottom over here and this top over here. And the difference here is about 2.5x. Not exactly, but, a little bit higher than that. So what lets me know is that it's sort of like halving, just like the Bitcoin itself. So then I said, well, if this is the top, right, and I know that this is halving, my math sort of said, well, it will probably be about 1.3x from the top over here, and that's going to be the new bottom, somewhere over here, right? So I don't know exactly on the timeline when that is going to be, so the time is x because I just don't know it. But if it is 1.3x from the bottom right over here that we are looking at, that would likely mean, let me change my colors. We have one too many colors happening over here. 1.3. Let me see if I can get my handy dandy calculator to come up with this, because I think it's important to talk real numbers. Oh, I do need my keyboard. So let's see, 19,881 times 1.3. We're looking at $25,845. So this over here would potentially be 25,000. What did I say it was? 25,000 something. 845, 845. So this could be potentially the next new bottom, which is very, very cool if you really think about kind of the trajectory of where this is going. And, but okay, so if this is the new bottom at some point in the future, right? What does the top look like? Well, for that kind of look at, and again, using what Into the Cryptoverse has done, taking a look at this top over here and how far down it went, and it lost approximately, hold on, let me see if I can delete some of this stuff, y'all, because this is getting a little bit on the crazy side of things. Okay, so let's see if we could leave some of the stuff that makes sense to leave, and then let's eliminate stuff that doesn't make sense to have. All right, I think we got it. I think we got it. So I think we can play around with it. So if you take a look at this top over here, and then it went down to this bottom over here, that was about 94% loss. Okay. Then you go from this top to this bottom over here, and as he calculated it, that's about 86% loss, right? Then we have this top over here and this bottom over here, and he calculated that is, and this should be a negative, negative 84% loss, right? So now it's sort of the losses, it's down, but it's getting smaller. So next loss, we don't obviously know what it's going to be, but let's assume that it's 80%, you know. Yeah, it's a rough analysis. So if $25,000 is a negative 80%, then what is the high? That is what the question is. And again, I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator and sort of say, all right, you know, let's do the math over here together, right? Hold on, come on. Oh no, you went too far now. You went too far. I didn't want you to go that far. Okay, so if we know that 25, well, now the computer is just playing tricks with me. See that? Did you see that? Okay, so now if we know that 25, look, man, I'm gonna need you to stop playing around. Stop playing around. All right, maybe 25, 845 equals to 80%, right? Loss, which would basically mean that it represents 20% of the top price. Then the top price is an X at 100%, right? So as they say, if this equals to this and this equals to this, we got to solve for X, right? So we will say 25, 845, sorry, there should be a comma, to the X is same as 20 to the 100, right? So X is 20X is going to be not equal, but equal, is going to be 25, 845, and we add two zeros, right? Okay, and right, and that's X, and then X is going to be basically this divided by 20. So what is that going to be? Well, I don't know. I'm not about to get into it. So I'm just going to take my number here in the calculator, multiply by 100, divided by a 20. And here we go. We come up with the price of X to be 129,226. So 129,226. So in this bull market, we could expect, pending nothing super crazy happens. Let's go with green. I like green color for the big wins. It could be about $130,000 per BTC as the high price, and then this would be as a low price. Now, as you can see, that definitely beats the 19,881, and even the low amount actually beats that price. So this is the sort of, obviously, I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but it is a way for me to kind of think through of what is possible. Now, originally at one point, I had calculated that roughly one BTC would be about $87,500. And now I am coming up with the calculation that one BTC is going to be approximately $130,000. You know, a few $1,000 difference, clearly. But, you know, you know, we don't really know exactly how it's going to play out. So when I take a look at this stuff, this gives me a range of where the new price might go. And then I also then from this range can say, well, if I assume that negative 80% is going to be the new low, then it gives me an idea of how far down it could go. Now, this is obviously just an analysis. I have no clue if this is going to play out or not play out. Is it going to happen in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2025? I don't know, honestly. I'm just thinking that this is more likely or not that is going to happen within this market segment. Am I 100% sure about it? No, I am not. It's, again, not a guarantee. 100% would be a guarantee, right? But I think it has a very high probability that this is going to be the range, 87,500 to about 130,000. So now then, knowing that, then I start thinking of, well, what would my strategy potentially be, right? So if I'm accumulating, right, all the way up to, say, 50K, do I then start at, 60K, start going in and maybe selling off? Maybe, maybe not. What might look like more likely for me than this is that once we get into the $80,000 range, is that I might start going in and taking off some money off the table. I'm probably not gonna sell it to USD. It's probably going to be going to USDC and or DAI. To what proportion, I just don't know. Probably a bit heavier in this one than in this one. So maybe a slightly larger percentage into USDC. Now, why would I do that? Well, the reason for me in thinking about this is that, say that I do have one Bitcoin, right? And we come to $80,000 per BTC. And I do know that the new price is going to be that $25,000, right? Holding all the way to it and then dumping it means that I am losing approximately, what would this be? 55,000? Well, that's a ginormous loss for me personally. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's just a huge loss for me. So if I can take 80% of my $80,000, right? 80%. And I basically put it into USDC or DAI. That means that I am preserving 80% of this. And then, if it goes up higher than that, awesome. If it doesn't, that's equally as awesome. But I am allowing for my money to grow and yet protecting my downside. When it dumps back down into this particular section right here at $25,000, I now have, say, 55,000, or, well, it wouldn't be, uh, hold on, 80,000, just messed up on my math. 64, right? So I would actually, not 55. I would have $64,000, right? Potentially that I would sell out if I had one BTC, right? I would sell out and it would sit within the stable coins. So that's what I would have. And then if it dropped down to 25K, that means that I can buy 2.3 roughly BTC, right? And then I know that this is also going to go up to the new highs. Okay. And so what it does, it protects 64,000. It lets me buy more of it. I could still DCA along the way, right? But it gives me a new high, which then in a long term, when we look at, oh no, that is not, hold on, it was right here. That is not what I wanted to do. What it does do is in the long term, it allows me to then, allow this to go into the new high, which, we don't know exactly what it's going to go, but it could be well over $200,000 at this point, right? 200,000 plus. So now, instead of just having this small amount that went down into it, now I have, extra money that actually allows for this to go up. So when we look at the any chart whatsoever, right? And it kind of does this and it kind of comes down and does this and it kind of comes down and it does this and it comes down. What the cool part is, or the goal is, if you can do it, which is nearly impossible, right? It's much easier to talk about it in theory than in practice, is that you want to sell here, hold on to cash, and then, so this would be a sell, this would be a buy, right? This is a sell. This is a buy. Because if you don't have the losses right over here, that means you hold on to this cash, right? And then you buy here extra, allowing it to go up. You hold on to the cash, buy extra, allowing it to go up, and so on. So it's almost like instead of doing this with your money, right? You actually do this, pause, right? This, pause, this, pause. So this actually adds on faster and faster. Okay, my parabola is horrible, but I think you kind of maybe, just maybe, have an idea. So this is my sort of thinking about where Bitcoin could go. I just wanted to do a quick recording. I could be completely wrong about the whole thing, but I wanted to share with you nonetheless. Let me know how you think about it. Let me know how you feel about it. For me, I really think it's important to understand where it might go and to have some sort of strategy behind, buying and selling and that kind of stuff. Because again, it is still pretty volatile, which means it will go up, it will go down. Long term, it will go up, but I want to play on the positives even within the long term. So I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, make sure you hit the thumbs up, do subscribe, hit bell notifications, and I will see you in one of the live shows, or so I hope. All right, y'all. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.